Coming up on today's Airborne, the aviation industry's beloved Henry O goes west. Bombardier sheds 1,700 workers following the CSeries delay, and the Valdez STOL aircraft will showcase unique capabilities at AirVenture. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. As we were preparing today's episode of Airborne, ANN's Jim Campbell got some very much unwanted news. One of the grand gentlemen of aviation, NASAO CEO and President Henry Ogrodzinski, passed away after a hard-fought battle with cancer. Jim reports on the passing of one of the aviation industry's most beloved gentlemen.
Thanks, Ashley, and hi, folks. Well, it's with the greatest of regret that we report the passing of Henry Ogrodzinski, most recently the CEO and President of the National Association of State Aviation Organizations, NASAO. Henry was one of those indelible characters in aviation, a true GA adherent and proponent. Henry filled a number of roles at a number of associations and organizations throughout aviation and wound up as a true aviation power broker in Washington, D.C. A tremendous gentleman, a classy guy, a fun guy to be around, and a truly amazing man. We lost him to cancer. We heard just recently that he was doing poorly and that the end was near. And frankly, I'd hoped today to be able to talk to you a little bit about how amazing this guy was while he was still around to hear it and to see it and to know that so many people respected and loved him. A true GA champion, Ogrodzinski led NASAO and its nonprofit foundation since 1996. He previously held a number of other senior management posts at the Experimental Aircraft Association, the General Aviation Manufacturers Association, Gulfstream Aerospace, and the United States Air and Trade Show. He had also served on the board of directors of the Alliance for Aviation Across America since its inception in 2007. During his long career, Ogrodzinski also served on the board of nominations of the National Aviation Hall of Fame, was a member of the National Aeronautic Association's board of directors, and served on that organization's Collier Trophy and Brewer Trophy selection committees. He was president of the Aero Club of Washington in 2004. Ogrodzinski was a graduate of the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee and a U.S. Army veteran. Our dear friend Cassandra Bosco tells us that arrangements are being made for a tribute to Henry to celebrate his life in the next few weeks. ANN will pass on the details as soon as they are available. Folks, this was a great guy, so I'll leave you with the words of Captain Jerry Coffey, USN retired. We toast our hardy comrades who have fallen from the skies and were gently caught by God's own hands to be with him on high, to dwell among the soaring clouds they've known so well before, from victory roll to tail chase at heaven's very door. And as we fly among them there, we're sure to hear their plea. Take care, my friend, watch your six, and do one more roll for me. God bless you, Henry O. Say hi to Paul. Take care.
Is cash flow a concern at Bombardier? The company just announced that it will lay off about 1,700 workers in its aerospace division, shortly after saying the entry into service of the CSeries aircraft will be delayed until sometime in 2015. The move will eliminate 1,100 jobs in Canada and 600 in the U.S., this according to a report from Reuters. Bombardier says it needs to cut expenses and still make major investments in the CSeries and Learjet 85 aircraft it has under development. A company memo sent to staff, which was obtained by Reuters, indicated the company was putting stricter spending controls in place to, quote, consistently meet our budget through 2014, end quote. Analysts such as Stonecap Securities' Scott Ratty said that the move confirms that Bombardier is very concerned about their cash position. Bombardier said that it would work to match employees targeted for layoffs with a few hundred openings that it is working to fill. Specially modified aircraft originally created for Alaskan bush pilot necessity turned into one of the world's most unique aviation competitions. The Valdez STOL competition, held in Alaska, will now be one of the activities at EAA AirVenture in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, set for July 28th through August 3rd, 2014. Demonstrations featuring the unmatched capabilities of the airplanes that compete at the annual Valdez Fly-In and Air Show in May each year will be held for several days at Oshkosh. More than a dozen of these aircraft, including home-built and specially modified production airplanes, will be participating at AirVenture 2014. Along with the flying demonstration during AirVenture's daily afternoon air show, the Valdez STOL aircraft will stage a fun flying demonstration from the grass ultralight runway on Friday evening of August 1st. This is something you don't want to miss if you're there. It'll knock your socks off. The Terrafugia Transition is not the only roadable airplane that may one day bridge the gap between car and aircraft. In Slovakia, engineer and designer Stefan Klein has since the early 1990s been working on his AeroMobil roadable aircraft and has conducted short flights in ground effect with a recent version of the vehicle. The vehicle has some design similarities with the Transition. It has 2 seats and folding wings. It's about 20 feet long and is powered by a Rotax 912 engine. AeroMobil says on its website that the aircraft will cruise at about 100 miles per hour and have a range of about 310 miles. It's built of a steel frame with a carbon fiber skin. It has an empty weight of 992 pounds, according to the company. Klein told the French news service AFP that he's currently developing version 3.0 of the roadable aircraft, which he plans to begin producing in the next few months. According to Daher-Socata, their line of single-engine turboprop aircraft are doing well. 40 new TBM 850s were delivered in 2013, providing a 5% increase from 2012 and representing a 20% market share for aircraft in its category. That's up from 18% in 2012. The 2013 deliveries bring a total TBM series aircraft received by customers to 662 units, of which 338 are the TBM 850 version, the latest member of Daher-Socata's very fast turbo aircraft product line. While the majority of TBM 850s purchased in 2013 were sold on the U.S. market, about 72%, strong levels of activity also were logged in other regions. Europe accounted for 10% of the deliveries, with France taking the lead in this region for the first time since the TBM 700's introduction. Latin American deliveries were made to Brazil, Chile, and Mexico. In addition, a TBM 850 was delivered to Australia, and Saudi Arabia became the first Middle Eastern country to welcome a TBM. A Kickstarter campaign has been established for a small tri-rotor copter called a pocket drone. It can reportedly carry a GoPro-sized camera, but still fold up to a size smaller than most tablet devices. The company making the aircraft is AirDroids, and it says the pocket drone is the ultimate heavy-lift microcopter. The description on the Kickstarter website says 2014 will be the year of the drone and describes personal and professional photography taking off. They don't mention that such aircraft cannot be used for commercial purposes according to the FAA. Pocket Drone says that there are multiple controller options. One is included in the kit, but can also be controlled using any DSM-compatible radio controller of any Android tablet with a USB port. According to their website, the aircraft can fly by following GPS waypoints and has follow me and return home functions. It will fly for 20 minutes while carrying a camera. What a wonderful new way to annoy your neighbors. Bombardier Aerospace delivered 238 aircraft during 2013. This compared to 233 aircraft deliveries in the previous calendar year, ending December 31st, 2012. The company also received order for 388 aircraft net of cancellations, compared to 481 orders net of cancellation for the previous year. Guy Hatchie, President and Chief Operating Officer of Bombardier Aerospace, said in a news release, quote, "The global economy has remained persistently sluggish, and with its recovery taking longer than originally anticipated, 2013 continued to be a challenging year for aviation." End quote. In 2013, Bombardier delivered 180 business jets. Bombardier delivered 10 fewer business jets in 2013 compared to guidance, mainly due to the transition from the Learjet 40XR and Learjet 45XR aircraft to the Learjet 70 and Learjet 75 aircraft. In 2013, Bombardier delivered 55 commercial aircraft compared to 50 for the previous calendar year, ending in December 31st, 2012. The 2013 deliveries were in line with guidance. You're watching Airborne, more in a moment.
Redbird Skyport is a multifaceted aviation laboratory charged with developing innovative solutions to the issues facing the industry.
It started out as a vision for a laboratory where we could objectively measure the systems and the processes that we were developing. Being able to put some objective measures behind the anecdotal evidence that we have about the value of motion and the application of this technology is very, very important, because until we can objectively measure it and play that data back, we can't design training systems that make the best use of it.
For more information about Redbird flight simulations, as well as Redbird's new Skyport, visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com or www.redbirdskyport.com.
ADS-B will be mandatory for most aircraft by 2020 in the United States, but you can benefit from ADS-B today with the Bendix King KT-74 Mode S transponder. The KT-74 meets the global mandates for ADS-B out when attached to a suitable WAAS GPS.
Welcome back. If you'd like to suggest a story for Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or podcast, drop us an email to news-by@aero-news.net. Drought conditions in Central California may lead to the recovery of wreckage from an airplane that went down in a lake northeast of Sacramento nearly 50 years ago. On New Year's Day in 1965, a Piper Comanche carrying 4 people took off from Phoenix Field in Fair Oaks, California for a sightseeing tour over Folsom Lake. The aircraft was involved in a mid-air collision with a beach debonair, which was also on a sightseeing flight, and fell into the water. The Comanche was never recovered, and the remains of only one of the people on board was found following the accident. The debonair managed to land safely back at the airport. A local television station reports that recent drought conditions have dropped the water levels in the lake to historic lows, and the El Dorado County Sheriff's Department hopes it can finally locate the wreckage using advanced sonar technology. Tuskegee Airman James Bowman passed away near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Monday at the age of 91. Bowman trained and served with the famed unit, rising to the rank of warrant officer, but he never saw combat. According to a report in the Des Moines Register, he enlisted in the Army Air Forces in 1943 and joined the Tuskegee Airmen. He completed pilot training and earned his wings, but was never deployed overseas. On August 8th of 1945, he was forced to bail out on an airplane that caught fire during a training mission at night over Walterboro, South Carolina. Following his service in the Tuskegee Airmen, he returned to Iowa to become an educator. He was a science teacher and later an administrator, becoming the first black superintendent of the Des Moines, Iowa public schools. Bowman was among those Tuskegee Airmen who received the Congressional Gold Medal in March of 2009. Buried in the $1.1 trillion omnibus spending bill passed by Congress is a provision that would require the FAA to reduce helicopter noise in the Los Angeles, California area, unless it can show voluntary efforts are effective in achieving that goal. The bill says that within a year of its passage, the FAA must begin writing such regulations unless the voluntary efforts are successful. This according to a report posted by the Helicopter Association International. The Secretary of Transportation is currently required to study and adjust helicopter routes over LA neighborhoods if such adjustments would reduce noise. According to the Helicopter Association International, the language in the bill is a result of political pressure from Southern California lawmakers forcing the FAA to circumvent the regulatory process. Well, that's our program. Remember, you can get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. And please stay tuned for an update on our new schedule for 2014. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.